Hi, and welcome back to a new episode of the Guys Book Club in the World. Book Club, yay! And today, guys, we're an extremely special episode because today, guys, we're on episode number 286, guys. 286, guys. 286, guys, which is crazy. Which is crazy amount of episodes. There's crazy amount of episodes, guys. Crazy amount of episodes. So, guys, thank you very much for joining. So, guys, if you're new to the channel, welcome back. If you're already familiar with the channel, welcome back. My name is Zaki, I'm the host. And guys, on this podcast, we are boosting our confidence to speak in English and our communication skills to stand in front of the camera and to communicate before the camera. And we are doing so, and I'm doing so by sharing with you guys my own journey, how to become better in English speaking and reading, and how I improve my skills to stand in front of the camera. And helping this by sharing with you guys my own journey, my failures, my success. We did in episode 284, my failures. You can watch it again. By sharing with you guys and inspires other people around the world to do the same. Maybe you, the legitimate are watching the podcast, maybe you. Yeah, you to share work on your English and to share message to the world, because it's really important in my eyes that you share with your world, because it's unique and you have a unique story to tell and you have a unique story to share with us, and it's really important. So do it. And I know sometimes it might be scary something, but I think that it's really worth it, because if you take those two skills and you combine them together, you can create great content to the internet and influence billions of people all around the world. So definitely recommend to do it. And today, guys, you see, I got my friend from here behind me. She say, came, we say, okay, yeah, just the time in your face. Cheer up, everything is going to be good. You're going to finish your degree, even though yesterday wasn't so good. And if you want to go, even if you want to know what I'm talking about, go to episode 484. Now, beginning guy, show you guys what happened with the test today. And guys, if you want to check out my friend from here behind me, you can know where you can find on 321 campaign. You can find it on a Good Fun. And this is a great background upload to Good Fun by none other than Imara on 18th of October 2014. In 13, it's a long time ago, and it downloaded already almost 5,000 times. 101 likes. Guys, if you want to download the picture, you just need to choose the resolution from here. Press download. Right click on the picture, go to שמירת תמונת בשם מליברו, עושה pictures in English. Guys, type down in the comment below, what it in language, and all of us need to guess from you all around the world. It's going to be a really nice game. Press on it. Choose one moment to save it on the computer. Press save. And just like that, you will get this game back on the computer. So thank you very much for. I'm not focused today. Thank you very much for the artist who made this great background. And thank you very much for Neymar for sharing this great background, with us. Let's see. Let's do. Anyways, today we'll continue our journey with your next 5 moves of Peter David. And we read about momentum, we continue to grow momentum, and it's really important to have momentum. And when I started to have momentum on my YouTube channel, Cultivation, I stopped and I lost it, and now I need to build it all from scratches, because you still got a little bit momentum. It's a little bit broken, but I need to do it much efficient. So I'm working on it today. And guys, as you know, I really enjoy the book. I really love it. I really love the book. And if you want to check out this game account, check out the book. Or post Patrick made with social media account, and you know that I recommend to check them out, because Patrick with David shows us huge amount of wisdom on his social media accounts. You got a link in the description below, so make sure to check them out and like them. You guys, if anyone will finish to do some for myself for the podcast, or if anyone of you want to go to the podcast, they can to the podcast, show them about this, about to make a difference, because very just spend time if you guys are really nice guys. You guys are really nice guys. Really nice guys. Let me know in the comments below so they can arrange it. And of course, guys, feel free leave a comment below if you learn something with the channel, maybe for the books, maybe something that's it, maybe not for the book, or maybe you have your own life lessons that you want to show us. Feel free to do it in the comment below, so all of us can improve thanks to your wisdom and enrich your life. So thank you very much. And one is guys, before we move to the book, if you enjoyed the video, if you enjoyed the episode, if you enjoyed the journey, and if you learned something new for the channel, please consider to subscribe to the channel, put the notification bell so you can get the next extremely exciting episode like I'm doing, and you know it's going to be 5 extremely exciting episodes per week, and you know the 300 special episodes are coming soon. Like the video and share it with your friends. It's going to be like 1 to 3, 4 clicks from your side, and it's going to have a really big impact on me. So if you can consider it, please consider to do it. So thank you very much. And before I tell you about introduction, let's dive right into the book. So your next 5 moves by Patrick David. Read by the meat, the legend, the page 161 to 165. Read by the meat, the legend, the one and only, the man himself. Give me some drum, please. Give me some drum, please. Give me some drum, please. Oh boy, okay, yeah. That's what's up. That's me. So let's go. Title: Plan optimistically and wisely for growth. Steve Jobs said, "There is an old Wayne Gretzky quote that I love. I skate to where the puck is going to be, not to where it has been. And we have always tried to do that at Apple. Though this quote has become so overused that it now seems a cliche, there is plenty of wisdom in it. Gretzky was the ultimate grandmaster of hockey. His ability to see more moves ahead than his opponents did is the reason he is still called the Great One. You are constantly going to be forced to make decisions while living in the present time. Just test your mind and don't live in a future truth. Let's take your office space as an example. If your company is successful, it's going to grow. If it's extremely successful, it's growing trajectory. Its growth trajectory will be steep. That means you will need more people, equipment, and space. When the tech hub built in Chicago announced in September 2019 that VillageMD, a primary care medical company, has raised $100 million in a Series B funding. Its press release said the company has raised a total of $260 million to date, and has outgrown for headquarters, and has outgrown for headquarters since its launched in 2013. Rapid growth can cause chaos, but you can control the chaos to some extent by following this simple rule. Listen good, listen well. Listen good. Listen closely. If you have the capital, lease office space based on what you will need 18 months from now. For many companies, if is a rather important word. With 4 moves in 6 years, the rapidly growing company VillageMD seems to have found the right balance. If your company grows fast and doesn't have enough space, you will have people on top of people. When your employees are in too close proximity, some will rub others the wrong way. People will start arguing more often and more loudly. They will start bickering over who gets to use the conference room. They will be telling each other to stop listening to their phone conversations. There is no question that not having a adequate space can slow your momentum. Romeo raised $750,000 to start a financial marketing firm in Long Beach, California. Like a lot of entrepreneurs, Romeo was a terrific salesperson. A charismatic closer, he was brilliant at getting people to. He was brilliant to getting people. To quote Alec Baldwin's character in Glenn Rose, to sign on the line which is dotted. Even the best salespeople, however, can be terrible business people. I went to Long Beach as a World Trade Center to see Romeo's operation. He had leased the entire 90th floor of the building, nearly 30,000 square feet, at $30 a square feet per year. The monthly rent alone came to $75,000. That was before taking into consideration phones, internet, electricity, or any of the other ongoing expenses of running an office, let alone the support staff. It was apparent that Romeo wasn't thinking more than one or two moves ahead. Romeo's investor asked me if I thought he would made a good investment. How soon do you expect to see a return on your investment? I asked. Nothing unreasonable, he said. The next 6 months would be fine. And even 12. I started processing, and it was obvious that the business was headed for a cliff. Do the math. The firm would need to gross $100,000 a month just to cover its office expenses, plus another $600 to $500 a month over the first year to pay back the investor. Not to mention personal expenses such as food, clothes, and cars for Romeo, who had expensive taste. I had dinner with Romeo before leaving. He asked for honest feedback, so I told him to minimize his expenses immediately while he still had the chance. I explained that it made no sense to get an office that big for only 5 full-time agents and 30 part-time agents. With 40 empty desks in the office and in the office and cubby cells, the place looked like a morgue. MORGEUE. As you might expect, he wasn't very happy with my advice. Romeo had the talent and skills to make the business work. He just wasn't willing to accept that running a successful business requires a sound financial decision making. He ended up digging his way into deep debt and had to shut down the business. Do you think Romeo was acting do you think Romeo was acting like a grandmaster? Eddie thought, even 3 moves ahead, he could have Eddie thought even 3 moves ahead. He could have avoided that catastrophic course. I understand that managing for both the present and the future is a delicate balance. If you have 5 full-time employees, your sweet spot might be an office that can accommodate 15 or 20. If you're savvy, you will work out an option on adjacent space that you can move into when you need it. Yes, plan for growth. And yes, plan wisely so you can allocate capital for its most important use. People can talk themselves into anything. Before going crazy on office space, let's play a little game. See if you can match the company with its birthplace. You probably already know about Apple. For the remaining ones, match the company to its first office. Let's show you. Apple Garage Google Affiliates Garage. On Garage. Come on, the bush behind the front machine. I don't know. Let's see answers. Mattel on Garage. Google rented Garage. Disney Uncle's Garage. eBay Home Office. And Davidson Campo de Bush behind the friend's machine shop. Dell dorm room. Start small, guys. Like I'm recording this from my dorm as a document in the university. The title: Regret Minimization. Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, talks a lot about regret minimization, about projecting himself forward in time and then thinking about the what. Theoretically, he might regret not having done. For Bezos, this is a way of to make sure he takes calculated risks. Since even if he fails, it can be worse than not having tried at all. Turns out that when Gretzky, the leading scorer in NHL history, said one more timeless thing. You miss 100% of the shots you didn't take. Here is a question that will make this concept clear. At age 89, Warren Buffett is worth $90 billion as of January 2020. Why do you think he was worth at age 47? $5 billion? $20 billion? If you're like most people, you will figure it. You would figure it would be at least that much. After all, even though we are talking about a 42-year gap, even though we are talking about a 42-year gap, it makes sense that he would have to have had a lot of money back then to get to $90 billion, but $90 billion today. At age 47, Buffett was worth $67 million. Damn. At age 47, Buffett was worth $67 million. How is it possible? He had a lot of catching up to do in order to make the leap from $67 million to $90 billion, right? So how did he do it? Buffett did it because he didn't have bad habits and he minimized his regrets. Now, I don't know Mr. Buffett. Maybe he had other regrets that we don't know about. But I do know from all that I have read about him that he maintained a consistent record of being a decent, fair-minded person in both his personal and professional lives. Buffett isn't drug addicted. He doesn't cheat his partners. He doesn't gamble away his money. He doesn't get into legal trouble. On the public record, there is no indication of anything like this. Buffett seems to have minimized his regrets, and thus maintained his momentum. That is a big part of what helped him go from $67 million to $90 billion in 42 years. We'll come back onto Elon Musk in reality. $100 billion in 1 year. Contrast, Buffett's path to the path taken by the late talk show host Morton Downey Jr. In the late 1980s, Downey's syndicated show was bigger than Phil Dunham's. It was reality TV before reality TV existed, and Downey was on top of the world until he self-destructed. Allegedly, on April 24, 1989, Downey was in an airport bathroom when he was attacked by three white supremacists. They beat him up, cut his hair, and drew swastika on his face using a marker. The police administered a lie detector test, which he passed. Shortly thereafter, Dan admitted that he had made up the entire incident. On July 1989, his show was cancelled. In February 1990, Downey filed for bankruptcy. Now, consider a second incident. On one show, Downey had a guest who was a vegetarian talking about a healthy lifestyle. He responded to her by saying, "Let me tell you something, darling. I smoke I smoke 4 packs of cigarettes a day. I drink 4 glasses of alcohol a day. I eat red meat. I am 55 years old, and I look as good as you do." Downey died at age 68 to lung cancer. Downey died at age 68 to lung cancer after having long since faded from public view. If he were able to look back, do you think he might regret some of his behaviors? He had everything going for him, but he couldn't sustain momentum. Let him be a cautionary tale for you about what you don't want to regret. Title: The four title: Vice management. Few people are saints, and many entrepreneurs have vices. But if they can learn to manage them, they can prevent them from derailing their careers. I learned from Pastor Dudley Mumford that there are 4 G's that can destroy a business person. The 4 other those G's: 1, greed; 2, gluttony; 3, girls/guys; 4, gambling. Temptation gets the best of many of us. How many people have destroyed their careers and their lives because of gambling? But it doesn't have to be a common vice such as gambling, drinking, or drugs. Some people have vices attached to money. They are either miserly or they spend like drunken sailors. As a result, they either fail to make the right investments in technology, people, etc., or they spend foolishly and cannot sustain their operations. Some people's vice is arrogance. Everything is about them. Everything is about them. Arrogance. They fail to give other people credit and log both the spotlight and the money from the business. Sooner rather than later, those around them figure it out, and the top talent leaves. Cheating is also a vice, and it's one to which some entrepreneurs are particularly vulnerable. Early in my career, I was competing for customers with Larry, and I was kicking my ass, producing 3 times as much business as I was. It was humiliating for more reasons than one. It was humiliating for more reasons than one. I had a hyper-competitive girlfriend at the time who was also in our business, and she too was listening to him. It drove her crazy. To calm her down, I said, "Listen, let me put it to you this way. This is a long-term game. Executing our strategy takes time. We're going to keep doing it the way we are doing it because this is a long-term play." 6 months later, the SEC charged Larry with convincing clients to take money out of their mortgages and invest it in variable annuities. He lost his securities license, as did 9 other people in his agency who were copying his tactics. Larry was talented, but he allowed his vice to get the better of him. All the momentum he built when he was selling like crazy, he was stopped permanently. It was stopped, and like this podcast, guys, this episode, this story needs to stop. Guys, just kidding. But this is the actually the end of the episode. So guys, thank you for joining me. I really appreciate the fact that you choose to invest your time in me. I really hope that you learn something from the channel as much as I did. And guys, I really we can't wait to see all. I'm excited to see all your friends and family and everything that you know. Tomorrow, the greatest book club on tomorrow on the next episode of the greatest book club of the greatest book club in the world, the book club. Until then, have a great time. Take care of yourself and bye. So guys, today is Tuesday, 18 on January 2022, and time is 1983. And this is the third episode that we are recording today. This is the third episode. And we are going to have one more episode today because I told you I had the test today, and for the last 4 days I didn't record an episode because I learned. And I had the last 3 days, and today is 4 days, so we just close the gap to this day. It's time to record the episode of today, but it's all okay because I probably got the last lot of episodes, so we are good on schedule. But for my own feeling, that if you miss something, you need to complete it. Now it's time to record the last episode. After that, work on motivation, and that's it, guys. Let's go.